And welcome back, people, to Life in Order. And if you are new here, I am Dan, the man with $1 billion plans to make the world great again. And as usual, it's time, and time is the most precious. We all see, no edits here. I'm not much of a teleprompter guy, but you're gonna have to build sometimes you got to do what you don't want to do. Okay. So, anyways, usual, time is the most precious thing we all have. So, with that said, let's get straight to it because you can always watch all my other videos to get to know my personality better. Right now, it's strictly business, as some of you know and or will find out. Right? If you don't take care of your business gonna take care of you, and not in a good way. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Okay, so let me take off my coat real quick because this velvet is nice and plush, but it is a very warm fabric. So anyways, okay, so this video is about what kind of credit profile you will need in order to qualify for business funding and or personal funding, because of some of you will not have the credit profile to qualify to get funding under your business. But not to worry, it's not the end of the world. We can get you some funding under your personal side so as to build. And see, and then of course technology always has problems. So, but again, I try to avoid not doing too much post editing because I have so many things to do. Where was I? Let's see. Yeah, not to worry. Yep. Because we can still get you some funding under your personal side. I can't believe this thing is tweaking. Elgato's almost perfect, but not so perfect. So let me read it off the side here for the most part, because I will tend to ramble if I don't kind of stick to somewhat of the beginning script here. But anyways, yeah, so we can still get you some funding under your personal side so as to build your credit profile to the point where you will qualify in the future on the business side. Now, as most of you will find out, that I like to do almost everything with checklists. That way, you crossed your T's and dotted your I's. Okay, so now let's switch the scene and to give you a better look of the Google Doc here that I created. Let's see here. Okay. And here we go. So, well, I can't put it now in the center because of all this stuff. Anyways, let's see here. Yep. And before I forget, it's very important that you get your tri-merge credit report to me as soon as possible. Okay, because I can't help you without doing it. I'm gonna make videos for you guys to do it, to learn how to do it yourself. It's a great thing to learn, but at the exact same time, I still gotta review it until I have my coders, code the AI that's just gonna do it a lot faster. Kind of like what these credit repair systems do, but specifically tailored to this. And let's see. So yeah, the video link on how to get your tri-merge credit reports is and FICO 8 scores, because the Vantage scores that Credit Karma gives you is garbage. All right. For $1 is in the description as well. And it's only $20 to get a fresh new report. But I also put the link. The video link into how to monitor your credit for free and prevent identity theft. Okay, now it's working here. But I think I like maybe looking it over here. I don't know. Everything's experimental in a sense. So, okay. Yeah. So let's see here. You monitor your credit for free. Yeah. The video for that and prevent identity theft. Okay. So even though I could sell you on the getting your on getting myscore's IQ, which is my identity IQ, it's the same company, right? It's my affiliate link. So yeah, I do make some money. It's peanuts, but help a brother out, right? So yeah, I can sell you on that and make monthly affiliate commissions, but I won't, so as to give you more value than my competitors. Okay. All right, so let's begin. Okay, so this is the Google Sheet here. All right, there's the link to my website, Life in Order. I was gonna put my logo there. I don't think it matters too much because you know who it is. And let's see here. Yep, it's right there. Oh wait, hold on. Is it? Sure, this is really low here. Okay. So this is the qualifying credit profile checklist. Like I said, I like to do everything with checklist because people who do dots, it's like, wait. Again, I'm all about hyper efficiency because again, I want to enjoy the money. I want you to learn how to enjoy the money, right? And that's kind of the whole premise of Life in Order, is to help you create the highest quality of life, right? And that you cannot do without having control of your time. But That's for another video, I guess. So yeah, I've seen people create bullet points, and it's like, wait, I'm gonna have to reread that because I don't know if I did it or not. So this, as simple as this is, it saves a lot of time. So okay, I don't have to read that. It's already been done, right? Done, 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 right? As you guys will see, my things with the spreadsheet, it makes them disappear or hides them, and then you can always unhide them. But so yeah, first thing first, make a copy of this. Again, sometimes I got to speak as if maybe you're not that technically technologically savvy or whatever. But you just come here, you go to File, make a copy, and rename it or whatever you wanted, and select My Drive and click whatever folder if you're more organized, kind of like I am. But so yeah, make a copy, and then you'll be able to edit it too if you need to for whatever reason. I don't think you'll need to, but you never know. So yeah, make a copy, right? Then check it off. Get your Tri-Merge credit report. Again, here's a link to my YouTube channel to go watch that video. So first things first, you need a minimum of 700. Yes, we can get you money at 680, but it's not worth it. And I'm not going to go into details explaining all that. Again, I'm trying to make this video not too long because it's already 6 minutes. But if you can't withstand a long video, you're not going to make it in business. That's all I got to tell you. There's a lot of work you got to do. Even as simple as what YouTube looks like or online businesses look like. It's you still have to consume a lot of long form content, paid or not paid, to pick up skills. So yes, minimum 700 credit score, because I don't want to deal with anybody below that, because I know I'm going to get you very little. And for the most part, it's the same amount of work. It's kind of like the saying, the same amount of attention it's going to take you to make $1 million. It's going to take you to make $1 billion, right? But it's just about choosing the right business vehicle to do that in order to get there. But still, you only have 24 hours in a day, right? Whether you're poor or multi-billionaire, like moi is planning to be, so I can help my brothers and sisters and kind of, I guess, bring back, I guess you can call it Christianity into this Christian nation, right? In other words, saying my life goal here is to be my brother's keeper in so many ways. And I guess you can say it's a form of making capitalism sustainable. There's so many ways of perceiving it and wording it. But at the end of the day, again, I'm just trying to make the world a better place. I'm trying to leave it better than how I found it. Okay, yeah, so you need a FICO 8 score. That's why, again, after looking at all the different companies that provide this, my myscoreIQ, which is my identity IQ again, is pretty much the better one, because they give you the FICO 8. So if you're going to go somewhere else, be very careful to read the fine print. And for the most part, I won't accept any other credit reports. I was thinking of doing that, but it's just not worth it. Again, efficiency and your time efficiency. You get it for $1 the first one, and then after that, it's $20 after that. So again, it's not too bad. Okay. And the amount of money I'm saving you from watching that video on how to monitor your credit report and identity theft, prevent identity theft, is worth all the. I've seen it's all over the place on how much you'll pay, and some people are paying that, But if you got to repair your credit, that's a different story. But I digress. Okay, so yes, you want a minimum of 700 FICO 8 score. Not Vantage 3. That's basically garbage. And above on each credit bureau. Even though the majority of these banks, especially the ones we're probably going to work with because they give a lot of the money, are primarily Experian for the most part, and then comes TransUnion, and then very rarely Equifax. But that also varies in what state you live in, and sometimes the banks switch it up too. So that's the kind of sucky part about this, is that I can tell you the truth today and it might be false tomorrow because the banks change their things, because sometimes things go viral on the internet and people kill it for other people. But anywho, all right, so there's different, because I've looked at my competitors. I even tossed some of my my clients over there so I can kind of get some, I guess, some intel on there to see if they have something different, more an advantage over me. I ran into these kind of 3 main scenarios of what you would need, right? So if you have one personal credit card, then it has to be at least 5 years or older and with a 10K limit, right? I just got a client, helped his wife, who only had one Bank of America credit card, but she had it for like 8 years, and it's already up to $27,000. So, and then I got him a Chase 25K card, he would have gotten more, but he didn't listen. So, but everything that bites me in the butt or whatever, or I didn't foresee, then I add it to my list and make sure that you guys hopefully not going to make the same mistakes by being, I guess, more clear with my expectations and everything else. So, anyways, okay. So the other option is you got to have 2 personal credit cards. Okay, no authorized users, though it wouldn't hurt depending on where you are in your credit journey. But again, I'm not, I gotta spoon feed you little by little because I know it can be a lot of information overload. Okay, so if it's in red, that's basically notes. Okay, all right. One being 2 years or older, and the other being at least 6 months old or older, and each card having at least a 2,500 limit or higher. Okay. Chase and Capital One and other credit card companies allow you to transfer some of your limit from one card to another, but you can call your bank to find out if your cards will allow you to do that. Again, you never know. You never know. You don't Google it because I've had many situations where Google is wrong. It sources the wrong thing, or again, it's outdated. The bank changed the thing, so it's just better to pick up the phone and call them. But also, the other thing is that sometimes their employees are, they're not too bright. So you also got to kind of take that with a grain of salt as well. All right. But I pretty much know Chase and Capital One do, especially Capital One. Capital One makes it very easy online. But again, those are future videos that I'll show you guys how to do all this stuff. I don't have my roadmap here, but that's again for other videos. I'm just trying to focus on this and not to give you too much value because again, it may seem like sensory overload to you, but in reality, it's everything you needed, right? Okay, and then the other option is this is a stronger one to have, which is 3 personal credit cards that are 3 years or older and have at least 3K limits or over. I learned this from this one company that does primarily corporations. So after picking that guy's brain and all that stuff, but corporation, that's a whole other topic I'm going to get into. What will benefit you more, LLC or corporation? Because I went down that path of getting corporation. It's good for certain people in certain positions, but the vast majority of you who are starting, it's not worth the additional cost because you're going to end up paying anywhere from 10 to 15,000 around there. I've seen it, and they claim you can get all this stuff, but if you don't have this profile, and there's some additional stuff, like I'll give you a little bit extra sauce right now, is you got to have relationships, with these banks. So if you have a personal account and a business account with them for quite a while, and you have some decent amount of liquidity in there, staying there for quite a while, then you will get higher limits. Okay, so all right, next, the biggest thing, and then another biggest thing here, and some of you might think, oh, I don't have a 700 credit score, but if you pay down your utilization to this level, you may jump up to 700 and or higher. Okay, so oh yeah, I forgot to say 720 is better, and 750 is even way better. Okay, so for all the people like, oh, I'm trying to get to 800, trust me, when it comes to cars, this 720 is going to get you basically the highest tier you can get possible. Okay, because you still got to negotiate these dealers, and banks try to rip you off, but that's where I'm here to teach you again what your parents and school should have taught you. All right, that's my main slogan. That's the main problem. Therefore, it's an opportunity for me to teach you. So yeah, so anything above 750, you might as well consider yourself an 800, 850 because you're not going to get any extra points beyond that. Okay, so those people are like, oh, I paid off my loan and my score dropped, and now I'm like, I was at 820, now I'm at 800. It doesn't matter, people. Okay, I'm here to demystify all this credit BS. Okay, because when you get to know me that when I go deep, I go deep. All right. So anyways, yeah, you want utilization under 15%. So my system that you guys will see in later other videos, I put 14. You can change it. It's a formula, so you can just change it and see whatever target you can hit based on the money you have available. So, and I do have a company that I'm working with but their limit is 25,000. So if you need 25,000 to pay it down to get down to 15 or 7%, or even between that, I got you guys. Now, the other thing, what was I going to say here? Yes, we can get you funding if you let's say you have 29%, again, basically just under 30 utilization, but again, you're not going to get well, right now with the economy, kind of people being scared of recessions, banks were already tightening anyways to begin with. So so yeah, so you just don't want to, you know, even though we can remove inquiries, you just don't want to get unnecessary ones because it complicates things. Okay, so in the 15% mark and or lower, we know we're gonna get you pretty much high approvals. We're gonna, pretty much guarantee approvals and higher limits as you go lower as well. Okay, but remember on each card, not overall. So don't log in. Well, first of all, my credit IQ, my score IQ does not give you the utilization, but you can log into Experience, a free account. You could also create, the Credit Karma will give it to you, and it'll give you the overall, and it'll give you each and individual card. So, and again, I put a, yeah, oh, here it is. Obviously, I put a, I made a video on how to calculate it and how to calculate the utilization and the payoff amount. So it's all spreadsheet formula. You plug in your information, just follow the directions in the video, and you'll see what you need to pay off to get to these utilization rates. And there you go, right? And this also applies if you have any authorized users on your report. So for the most part, I'm going to tell you now, if you already have two cards, one card that's 2 years old, you don't really need to utilize authorized users anymore. What I've seen lately is that if you got some, especially with some really good aged history on it, it will stay there. So as long as you put them in once, whatever. And I have some to sell every once in a while because again, some all the cards do not. Sorry, not all cards have their limit. And then the other thing, you also want to get authorized users from the same person, because every person that let's say you get 3 different authorized users, you're going to have 3 different addresses on your report, and that makes the banking algorithm make you look, it thinks that you're unstable because it thinks like you're moving around or whatever, so yeah, for the most part, I would remove these authorized users, because also you never know, at one point they may need the funding, right? Or they may need the money and they'll use it and they'll create high utilization, and it will affect your credit score. Okay. So I just say remove them as soon as possible. All right. Now you don't want no more than 2 inquiries under, that are under 6 months on each bureau as well. Even though we can remove we can remove any inquiries for which you don't have any credit for. Okay, so anytime you apply for something, whether it's a term loan or car loan, whatever, lease, whatever, any kind of financial product, and you don't get the credit, you can legally remove that because it's not supposed to be on your report. These bureaus, if you guys eventually, I'll in my inner group, so shout out to WAP. In my WAP group, I will be revealing all kinds of phone calls with the bureaus. You can see how these basically, they break the law all the time, and just they lost a lot of lawsuits, and eventually I know I'll probably be forming some civil lawsuits against them, because that's another thing I'm learning. True law. Well, actually, I'm learning common law and corporate law, even though corporate law is what most of you have been taught about, but common law is way better. But that's a whole other story. All right, as you can see, I have a lot to teach you guys. I've been called a walking encyclopedia, not by accident. All right, so let's see here. So yeah, so there's a video coming soon on how to find them on your report, but it's very easy. Sometimes some of them will not have the date correctly, and basically they'll well, that's a whole other video. I digress. So also, you don't want any late payments on any open or closed accounts. Okay, if you have one that's very recent, and okay, let's just say you have a late payment that's older than 2 years old, those don't really count anymore. So that's okay. That's the exception there. But yeah, if you have one that's very recent and don't have a history of missing payments, okay, just call the creditor and they usually can work with you to remove it. Okay. So again, it has to be very, very fresh. Maybe I would say the maximum, maybe 3 months. But again, it never hurts to try to negotiate anyways. I learned that skill of not being afraid of picking up the phone and calling them and be like, hey, is there any way that we can remove this? I apologize, whatever, right? So anyways, I suggest Dispute Beast to fix your credit. So I'm not sponsored by them. I'm going to eventually. I try to find the affiliate thing because I try to find affiliate for everything because why not? That's an amazing business. Again, I'm going once you guys see my videos about what businesses are the most lucrative, you'll understand. Okay. So yeah, so if you have any of these get harder, right? No collection, sorry, if you have any kind of collections, any charge-offs, right? So if you do have some collections, obviously don't check that and just check off whatever you don't have, okay? But yeah, Dispute Beast. I've searched pretty much all of them. Do I have a folder here? Yeah, pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's more, but these are the top guys for the most part. And after reviewing so many of them, Dispute Beast is pretty much the best. Again, there's always pros and cons for different things. So there might be some of you people that it may not be the best for you, but again, I would say 80%, at least 80%, the Pareto rules here applies. So 80% I think will benefit from Dispute Beast. Okay. So yeah, no bankruptcies, no medical bills, no repos, no foreclosures, no child support, no liens/judgments. Okay. Now to qualify for loans and or lines of credit on your personal side, you're gonna have to have at least 2 to 3 year tax returns. And the reason there's a range is because every bank is different for the most part. But general standard is 2, but again, some of them may ask 3 for whatever reason. Okay, so when these banks get scared or whatever, even though they make money out of nothing, they still have to play by these rules or whatever. So, oops, I don't know why that happened. Oh wait, hold on, what's going on here? There you go. All right, and you may need 3 to 6 months of bank statements or pay stubs. Again, it all depends on the bank. Okay. Now, ideally, you already have at least 2 installment loans or more, I should put there, on your file. Again, this gives you a good credit mix use, which gives you a stronger profile. You can have pretty much all credit cards, but it's just better to have that. Okay. And if they're currently open, then they must be at least 6 months old. Okay, so if you just opened one recently, figure out, go look at your inquiry and see when you open it, and you're gonna have to wait for 6 months until that matures into 6 months. Okay, and if they're closed, then they must have been closed in good standing. Okay, or paid off already. Again, because you may have a closed credit card. Let's say they close your credit card, but you still have a high utilization. You're still gonna do the same process up there, right? So I guess I should have put that in there. But yeah, you want to even pay down the cards that are closed down, but you still have a balance on. All right. Now, let's see. If you don't have any kind of installment loans on your file, okay, I suggest getting a pledge loan. I think PenFed offers it. I could be mistaken. One of the credit unions. Well, definitely, I definitely know Navy Federal Credit Union. Of course, you're gonna have to know somebody. You can contact me, and I can hook you up. I won't give it to everybody because again, I gotta make sure you're not gonna kind of screw up, my relationship with them. Okay, but yeah, and I think it's PenFed, the other one that offers it. But again, you're always one Google away. Again, who's to say another bank has not created it, right? Or talk to your local bank if you're dealing with a local bank, see if they have that program. Always try to work with the bank you've been working on. Have the longest relationship. You're gonna get the most favorable deals there for the most part. So yeah, strong so I also suggest Credit Strong. Okay, so there's a link. You just click on it and it'll take you. And I would get at least a 10K if you can afford it. But anything is better than nothing to develop your credit mix, your mixed credit score. Okay. So yeah, the secret to having excellent credit video. I think I've done a deep dive in the video that about credit, what I wish I was taught back in the day or what I know now. But I'm probably gonna make one more like this. Okay. Also, so now to qualify for business loans and/or business line of credit, right? A business has to be open for at least 6 months or 2 years. Depends on the banks available in your state. Now, there is a bank where you don't need 6 months at all, but it doesn't hurt. Okay. So then you have 2 to 3 years of business tax returns. Generally, those are passed through anyways. So this is more for corporations because those are separate taxes. Okay, mainly for C corps. Okay, and then you also may have 3 to 6 months of bank statements from your business, right, to be approved. Yeah, and again, you may need the above personal docs as well. Again, it all depends. This will be called full docs, right? Some may even want your P&L. It all depends on the bank, and so yeah. So yeah, this video is definitely longer than I expected it to be, but hey, I'm just doing it, off the cuff here, and or somewhat structured and somewhat not. But all right, so what else? I don't think that's about it. So this is basically to automate my answering of people's questions about, what criteria do they need? How do I qualify? People who are just running to my videos and are interested in this. This is the first thing you need to go and do. And like I said, the other thing is to send me your credit report so I can audit it. And you know, well, if I audit it and you don't qualify, sorry, it's going to be $500, and when I audit it and you qualify, that will be taken off of your fee. But if you don't qualify, you will have to eat it, I guess, because I do give you lots and lots of information there. Basically, I'm coaching you for very cheaply, basically. Or again, you could join my WAP, hop, WAP. Is it hop? WAHOP, WAHOP, WHOP. Let's see. Do I even have the link here? No, but actually, maybe I do have it over here. Let me plug it in real quick. Huh, I don't have it here, huh? Yeah, I just created it not too long ago. Anyways, it'll be in the description. That way it'll be $50 a month, and I'm also might program it to ramp up to basically incentivize you to maximize it. Of course, you can always pause it because I know life happens, but at least the first month you get it for $50 and you can see, hopefully you take full advantage. I suggest be ready to be 100% focused so you can take the most advantage. And again, the increasing it of 20, I think it's gonna be $25 is just to pressurize you because I understand psychology, right? You need deadlines or you will not move. So, all right. Arrivederci.